everyone, Emily Joan Smith here. How are we doing today? So today I want to talk to you about a podcast I've been listening to. So recently I've been listening to a guy's podcast called Jay Shetty. If you haven't heard of him, he's pretty big. To be honest, I haven't really heard of him till recently, and I'm very surprised because he is very big in the self-help world and he has a lot of amazing things to say, and his whole purpose of his kind of platform is to spread wisdom, and his wisdom is how to better your life, how to develop yourself. Anyway, I came across his podcast and it's called On Purpose. I highly suggest you check it out. It's honestly one of the only podcasts that I really listen to, which is kind of weird, but I'm more of a self-development kind of book girl. I'm more of a book listener than a podcast listener, but I have a feeling that's going to change very soon. So I was listening to his podcast and one of them was about the 5 levels of growth, and there are 5 kind of seasons of growth that you have to go through for any type of growth, whether that's growth in your business, whether that's growth in your relationships, whether that's growth in personality. There are 5 different seasons of growth, and it explains how one of them is kind of a whole season, like a whole yearly season, where the other seasons are you go through this and then you get to this point and then you get to this point and then you get to this season. So I just want to take you through them seasons because it really spoke to me, and I have a feeling it could help you, because as he explains in this podcast, a lot of people try to skip the first 3 seasons and go straight to the last couple of seasons when you have to actually go through a certain kind of steps of growth to actually get to the place that you want to be. So let me just tell you what the 5 seasons are first. So first there's learn, then there's experiment, and then there's platform, and then there's perform, then there's struggle, and then there's thrive. It's actually really hard to do that. Ooh. So the first one is learn. When you are trying to grow, when you are trying to get growth as a person, you first have to learn. You have to explore, you have to seek people who are doing the same things as you. To do anything that you've done in your life, you have to learn how to do it first. And a lot of people try to skip this. They try to think, oh, I don't need to learn. But with anything, there is always something that you can learn. The next one is experiment. So after you've learned the thing, you kind of experiment. And this is where you find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what helps you get a bit of success. And this is when you start seeing some kind of results, but they're kind of like miss and match. You can't quite tell what is the actual thing that's giving you success, what is the actual thing that's giving you growth. And the next thing is perform. This is when you've gone through the learning stage, this is when you've gone through the experiment stage, and this is when you're performing. This is when you're getting the results and things are going swimmingly and you're thinking, oh, this is actually really working. I am growing as a person. I am performing. And now the next step is the step that he says is the season that is all round. And after you've started performing and after everything's going swimmingly and seeming like everything's going really well, that is when you start to struggle. That is when struggle comes in. And now he says this is kind of a whole season thing because every aspect in life, every season in life, you have struggle. There's struggle when you're learning, the first step. There's struggle when you're experimenting, the second step. There's always going to be some kind of struggle in your life. And something that I've learned from Jay is struggle is okay. Everyone struggles. You need to have some struggle, else you're not going to learn. So once you've gone through that struggle stage, that's when you start to thrive. And that's the 5th step. But the most important thing he says with this 5th step is when you thrive, when you see someone thriving, that's like 1% of the year. When you see someone thriving, it's because they're winning an Academy Award, or they're winning this amazing award, or they're giving this acceptance speech and they're thriving. But what you've got to realise is you have to go through all of those steps. And although those people who seem like they're thriving all the way through the year, they've had to go through the learning stage, they've had to go through the experiment stage, they've had to go through the perform stage, they've had to go through the struggle stage to be able to thrive in life. But although it seems like they're thriving all year round, it's so not true. And the last thing I want to leave you with this that really stuck with me is these 5 stages of growth. You have to keep going through them. You have to keep going through them like a circle, because once you get to thrive, you need to start learning again, else you'll get complacent. You think, oh, I'm thriving, oh, I'm doing really well at life, oh, my relationships are well, my business is going really well. And when you start to think that everything is succeeding and everything's going well, that's when you're like, you come off the game, you're off the ball, and you get complacent. And that's when things stop working, and that's when you need to start learning again. So I think the best thing about this is you have to keep learning. You have to keep, to thrive, you have to keep learning. You have to keep experimenting. That's when you'll get to perform, but that's when you'll struggle again. And then you'll thrive, but then, oh my word, you have to go through all the whole seasons again. And that's what life is. It's about learning, it's about experimenting, it's about performing, it's about struggle, it's about thriving. But you can't have one of those things without the other 4. And that's why I really loved how he explained this. So they are the 5 levels of growth that you cannot skip. You cannot thrive in life or whatever you want to do if you don't go through learning, experimenting, performing, and also struggle, which is a yearly thing. Everyone struggles and it's yearly. It's like, oh, I'm doing well, but here we go, struggling. But if you don't struggle, you can't thrive. So yeah, they're the 5 levels of growth by Jay Shetty. Please go check out his podcast On Purpose, because I absolutely loved it and loving it. And I think he brings out like 2 episodes weekly. He's really on the ball. He has amazing people coming onto his podcast, very inspirational people. And I'm just loving it. So go check it out. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, please like it, please share it. Please go check out my YouTube, my Instagram, my Facebook, anything you want. All of my platforms are Live Without Limits Official, and I will see you very soon with another new video.